so that when you give the answer to the questions, there will be some questions that will be checking you for your professional responsibility. There is no specific question on PMI on the exam, PMP exam. The background of the question will still remain the like a scope, time, cost, or something else. But actually the question focus would be to understand your ability to understand the code of ethics and professional conduct. And this PPT actually summarizes that code of ethics and professional conduct. It talks about that how we can concentrate on doing things right, follow the right processes, we should act ethically, fairly and professionally, stay away from conflict of interest or even where there is a potential of conflict of interest. Okay, report violation if we see some violations of this code of ethics and professional conduct. And as we learn in conflict management, we need to learn, or we should deal with the problems upfront. Means we should approach the person with whom we have problems and discuss about the problem instead of talking here and there all around and not getting to the point. Okay, now it applies to the PMI members, the credential holders, that is, if you have PMP certified, if you are PGMP certified, or any other certification you have taken from PMP, or if you are a volunteer to PMI. There are 4 parts of it: responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. Responsibility means we should take responsibility of our action and their consequences, either good or bad. Respect means respect to the other persons, their view of their point of view, their build trust among them. Fairness about be transparent, do not have any kind of bias, stay away from conflict of interest. And honesty means we should be truthful, we should disclose the things what are right, and we should not suppress anything, and it should be transparent with the other party. It's not necessarily customer. Now another aspect of this is aspirational standards and mandatory standards. So mandatory standards means they need to be followed. Aspirational standard means they need to be followed. Okay, so aspirational standard does not mean you need not to follow them, or they are optional, you either follow or don't follow. No, as such both are mandatory. The only difference between mandatory and aspirational is this, that in the mandatory standards it is easy to recognize the violation, while on the aspirational ones it is not so easy to identify the violation, and therefore they are called aspirational. There means you watch yourself obeying them. As such, in both the cases it is true, but the things which are little difficult to measure, they are kept as aspirational standard, the simple definition. So let's take about the first part of it, that is responsibility. That means whatever we do, whatever decision we make, the outcome of that we should accept. Either it is right or wrong. The decisions are made or we fail to make, and the results of those. So what does it mean actually? So as a mandatory standards, that means whatever the rules, regulation, policies, law of land, law of the country, law of the state, organizations, rules and regulations, policies, etc. to be upheld. Okay, and second part is, if you identify any kind of violation, you should report it. And if you find that somebody is retaliating on this report, means you know X person who has reported a violation and against that person, you should be and seek action against it. What is aspirational is that of the society, in the interest of the organization, in the interest of the environment around, in the interest of the country, in the means it should not be driven by self-interest. Also, whatever work you take, whatever ownership you take, it should be consistent with your knowledge and experience, qualifications. We should hold ourselves, or we should accept the accountability for the decision we have made, or the decision we have not made. We should also respect the intellectual property right and the confidential information of the organization or anybody else as such. The second part is respect. Respect means not only respect yourself, but respect the other people, the people in front of you, the stakeholders around you. That means respecting their point of view. That means working with them and looking for a collaboration, cooperating with them and seeking cooperation. So negotiate in good faith. As I said, negotiate with the intent of win-win. Let you win and let other person also win. Do not take any action. Do not influence other people for your personal benefits. Do not act in abusive manner and respect the property right of others and the viewpoint of others. What are inspirational things in that? Be vigilant, be knowledgeable about the things around. If you go from another place where you do not know much about it, try to know more and more about the laws of the land, rules and regulations, custom and ethical things, so that you can comply with them. If you have a problem with someone, if you have a conflict with someone, approach him directly, as we learned in our conflict management also. There is no point talking to the third person. Talk to that person and not talk personality, but talk the problem and see how it can be resolved. Okay, the third part is a fairness. Fairness means we should be transparent. We should be unbiased. No favoritism, no prejudice, no self-interest. What that means is, whenever there is a potential of self-interest, or your self-interest and the business interest, or other people's interest, your self-interest and other people's interest are conflicting, or for whom you are working, their interest and your interest are conflicting or coming into the conflict, or there is a potential of coming into the conflict, you should first disclose it and take actions to stay away from it, even at the loss of some work, something, some degradation in the quality. Irrespective of what is happening, you should stay away from conflict of interest, irrespective of the outcome because of it. Okay, I think it's very important to understand. We talk about that we are working in the interest, though there is a situation where there is a conflict of interest, but we say that we are working in the interest of the organization or the people for whom we are working. That may not be acceptable. We have to stay away even if it is at the loss of the business or it is at the degradation in the quality, we should highlight it and stay away. We should not discriminate because of any like gender, because of the sexual orientation, because of the nationality, because of the disability, because of the religion, because of the race, because of the age, or anything which can bring a discrimination. We should not discriminate because of that. We should be doing this without favoritism, no prejudice. Okay. Now, also hold the transparency. Transparency means how the decision is being made. The decision should not be made, or should not only be made in the favor of the people or the organization for which you are working, but also it should be transparent enough for the other people to see it. The decision is not only made good, but it is being shown to the people that it is being made good. We need to continuously examine that we are working impartially, we are not doing any favoritism, and there is no conflict of interest. We should, as we learned in our procurement management, that when a bidder conference happens, when we call all the vendors in that bidder conference, anybody asks question, it is available to everyone, and the answer is also available to everyone. All the questions are documented, answer of them are documented and sent to everyone, so that everyone has equal information and I will say equal opportunity to bid for your contract. This applies to all the areas of project management or the work we do. So we should provide equal opportunity for everyone without any favoritism. The fourth part is honesty. That is, we understand truth and act truthfully. What does it mean that what does it mean is we should not engage or we should not involve in a behavior that is designed to deceive others or keep them separately. Do not meant for suppressing the information, meant for misleading the people. We should not be part of such a thing. Do not engage any dishonest behavior. What really means aspirational, we come with understand the truth, say truthfully, act truthfully, provide accurate information, do not suppress any information, do not half suppress any information, do not mislead, make commitment and honor them. Create environment of safety means do not, your words or your action should not give threat to the other people or people around you. Now, what these all four aspects really means? When you have some decision to take, you will take decision in this respect. Okay, resolve conflict, need objective based on the following orders, right? You should first go in the favor of the real reason for which the project is being executed. I say you remember that in charter we write business case. Okay, that is the reason behind project. So the topmost priority should be given to the reason behind the project. From this reason we define objectives. So the second priority should be given to the objective of the project, and third priority should be given to the triple constraint of the project, that is the scope, time, cost and quality including into this. You will say those are still triple constraint, but the quality is also triple constraint are to maintain the quality. Now you may work across the culture, across the people of different backgrounds. In those cases, we should understand that there is a diversity, as in India it's quite common. that we are there is something which is a very common thing, a unity in diversity. So we anyway live in a diverse environment, and I think we know very well, and therefore we embrace the diversity. Prevent culture shock. Culture shock means understand what the other people would be expecting and then acting based on that, or correcting the understanding of the other people, or letting people know how things happen without letting people know and do acting on it can create it or can give a culture shock. The reverse also true. If some people will say something to us, instead of getting shocked, we should understand that the other person is coming from the other background, and therefore there is a possibility he may not be very careful or careful about the culture shock, and therefore we should use ourselves as a shock absorber in this case. Very effective communication is a key to success in this. So uncover any communication preferences and understand the communication preferences of the stakeholder and act accordingly. Any difference, any difference in ethics, any difference in customs, etc., should be uncovered, should be, and more knowledge will be provided, more information should be provided, more communication is required, and therefore maybe in some cases we need to go ahead and provide some training as well. When it comes to absolutely working with the across the culture, now the things are global most of the time, and many teams are virtual teams and very different people are working on the same team. We should exercise these things. These things are very important. Exercise self-control. Even if you get some shock, you exercise self-control. Have a patience. Exhibit empathy in this case. Try to understand other people. What is exhibit empathy? Try to understand others. Try to understand the viewpoints of other people and maintain self-control and patience. Okay, have an open mind, accept the viewpoints of the people, accept the effective communication is important, understand that there will be going to be diversity, so do not get surprised or do not get annoyed by seeing that lot of diverse opinion coming up, and exercise tolerance, nothing but the patience. Right? So this is all about the summary of the PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. So this is something is not so easy to understand, but something I tell you, PMI does not expect anything great or very different from any society expect from its member. Or whatever things we have discussed, every society in which you live expect the same thing. So if you are a good human being, if you are a good civilized person, you may maintain all those things anyway. Okay, but many times we move into a conflicting situation where it will be difficult to understand what is right and what is wrong. In this case, take the safest approach. Like if in case you move into a conflict of interest thing, better you stay away from such a situation, even if there is no conflict of interest. If there is a doubt, stay away. If there is a doubt, act in the favor of the other person. Okay, now these things are, though in general we all are aware, though in general we know what is right and what is wrong, but many times the situation provides us the situation which is difficult to act upon. In this situation it will be difficult. So if you have any question on this, these questions will be tricky, very situational. The it is not like many times it is like we are not so habitual to such situations also. Maybe we have not gone through situation. If we have not gone through such a situation, it will be difficult to understand how to act on. So if you have any question related to this, let me know. I think we can discuss some of the points which are mentioned in this. Anything which is not unclear, which is not clear, or anything which is unclear. Anything you find little difficult to digest, or you have a difference of opinion, or you have a different opinion on that. Okay, can you explain what is empathy? Empathy means understanding others. So there is also a similar word called sympathy. Sympathy. Sympathy means showing concern about the other, showing your support to the other, but it does not mean you are understanding the person. Okay, there is a poor person, you may be sympathetic to him, but you may not be, yeah, exactly, you are right, you may not be understanding his situation. Okay, being sympathetic to others does not mean that you are understanding their situation, or if you really feel how it will be when you are in that situation. So empathy means feeling what the other person is feeling, getting into the shoe of the other person, thinking, getting into the shoe of the person and thinking from his point of view. That is empathy. वो एक है ना, एम्पैथी के बारे में एक हिंदी की बात कह सकता हूँ मैं। एक ऐसा है, समझ समझ के समझ को समझो, समझ समझना भी एक समझ है, समझ समझ के जो ना समझे मेरी समझ में वो ना समझ है. That is empathy. Any other thing? Aspirational conduct and mandatory conduct, right? See, aspirational means the things which are mentioned in aspirational conduct are basically difficult to measure. Their measurement is difficult. Like this says mandatory. Let's take an example of this is mandatory. Do not engage or condone behavior that is designed to deceive others. It's easy to understand. Are you in a group, or are you involved in a conduct which is made to keep other people away, or keep other people away from the false statement, misleading statement? Dishonest behavior can be easily understood, but if you come to the aspirational, understand the truth. It is up to you. Truthful in your communication. Now, this is a something which is little, see, say truth, and many times the communication is like that, you saying something and mean to say something else, and समझने वाले समझ जाते हैं, right? So aspirationals are nothing but they are difficult to measure. That's the only thing, there is only difference, there is no other difference, otherwise all everything is. And let me tell you, it is more confusion about aspirational. Mandatories are quite straightforward. Any other question? Okay, so it is 9 o'clock, and let's break for the break right now, and we will meet at 9:50. I will say 9:50. I'm keeping 20 minutes for these questions to do. There are 15 questions. I'm giving you 20 minutes, not 15 minutes, because in my opinion they are lengthy in reading. Also, the situation could not be, in a couple of questions the situation may not be so easy to understand. So take your time. We'll meet at 9:50. Okay, that will be fine. So you take break, have a cup of tea with you, attempt questions, and take your time. So 9:50 we will start. So half an hour for your break and 20 minutes to attempt these questions. Okay.